Good morning. I am the Moon Mama. Happy Wednesday. Wednesday's a day governed by Mercury.
Yes.
And there's my sun right there. The most challenging aspect of all of this coronavirus viral experience for me has been homeschooling. So I'm going to turn the camera around so that you guys are not distracted by him. You might still be able to hear his voice in the background because he's in school. So, welcome to Coronavirus 2020. The thing that's been so fascinating about this is that I remember before all of this started, me thinking, really thinking, I need to start spending more time with my son. There's something that happens with children. If you're a mother, you understand when they become teenagers, it's like they need you more. Like they don't think they need you more.
I miss you.
But they do miss you more. They do need you more. Look at him. He's telling somebody he misses him. They do need you more. And so I had just been feeling like I'm going to need to pay more attention, be present in a new way, be connected to my son in a different way. And then this all happened. And so we're here together all the time. So the moon is in Cancer today. It's going to be void all day long, actually. It's going to start a void at about noon, I think. And the moon in Cancer is a very internal energy. It's like really paying attention to your internal reality and what's really going on with you. Today is a Mercury governed day, and so Mercury is currently in Taurus. It just moved into Taurus, which I'm so excited about. Mercury in Taurus is a very slow, methodical energy. It's an energy around taking your time, not rushing into doing anything. One of the things that I've noticed, I've been triggered for a little while yesterday, for the past few days actually, by someone that I'm pretty close to. There's something they did triggered me, and I've just been watching it and taking my time and allowing myself to see the stories that I'm telling about it, to see the patterns that are in it, because Venus is in retrograde, or starting its retrograde. It's not in retrograde, but it's in the retrograde shadow. So I'm paying attention to the stories, my mental activity around this trigger, and seeing how it's like I have an ingrained story that people will do things to hurt me, that something will eventually happen in a relationship where I'm going to lose them, where I'm going to feel betrayed and feel as if something was done to me. And so I have a victim. That's a victim tape that's playing. And so I'm noticing that. And I'm like, oh, okay. So pay attention to your thought processes. Pay attention to what story you tell. As I'm watching myself tell a victim story, I'm communicating with my higher self and going, well, what else is possible here? I'm like, well, what if you're not a victim here? Maybe this is a high form of praise. Maybe this is a high form of acknowledgement. And so as I process it more, maybe I'll share the details of it, but I don't really want to do that because I'm processing it and it's someone that I'm in public with in social media. But the Mercury in Taurus is an opportunity because Uranus is there. Mercury is going to be in conjunction with Uranus very soon. And so it's really this great opportunity to bring new patterns to things that have been the way they are for a very long time, right? Because Taurus is a fixed energy, it's an earth energy, and it often doesn't change. So to have Uranus in Taurus is a gift because it's going to give us an opportunity to see ourselves in a new way, to source our value in a new way. Meaning that what you believe about yourself, how you feel about yourself, there is an energy now that's available to shift that. Like the old patterns. Like, so for me, I have an old pattern around race and how it shows up as a Black woman. Like I have old stories that... That's my son. That's my son reading. Okay, great. So I have an old story around being a Black woman. I remember, I'll say, for instance, when my son was born, and and I realized that he was going to have Down syndrome, I would ask myself, where am I holding in my consciousness that I'm disabled in some way? Where am I holding? Because the universe is always only giving us our own creation. So I was like, I'm having a child with Down syndrome. Where am I holding that I am disabled? Yeah. And what I realized is that I was holding that my blackness, me being a black woman, created a disability. It would keep me from fulfilling my potential and having success and having happiness because of my blackness. That was my disability. And so now during this Uranus and Taurus and Mercury and Taurus, it's like, how can I create a new paradigm around to let go of that old idea, but really understanding that, what I believe is what's true. So can I tell myself a new story about my blackness as a woman, that it is the most healing embodied experience to be in at this time? Not so long ago, I was at an Indian restaurant, and there was a couple. They were a Sikh couple, and they were dressed in white, and they had the head wraps. And we were in the restaurant, and I said hello, and the Sikh man said to me, he congratulated me. He's like, congratulations. No, congratulations for choosing. I'm sorry. Like, I love that my son is really learning to read. Games. This makes me really happy. So the Sikh man came up to me and said, play. He said, you're so fortunate that you chose this body this time. It's so courageous of you to be a black woman at this time. And so I'm going to just be with that for the next, couple of days, like reminding myself of the courage that it takes for a soul to choose a black woman's body at this time, how empowering it is, how incredible we are that we're bringing medicine to heal this country and this world, and just implant myself with a new story. And so as we are in this Cancer moon energy, which is about our early childhood foundations, our internal reality, look to see if there are any old stories you're telling yourself, any old beliefs and patterns, because we've been patterned since we were from 0 to 7. So everybody has stories that they can let go of. Everyone has them. So if you just ask for it, it'll show up. But how can you renew it? How can you shift it? How can you bring a new perspective to it? And when you bring a new perspective to that old story, it will begin to change in your life. Like, the things that I'm beginning to experience right now are incredible. Like, I have friends who show, like, just the other day I was looking on, I was wanting to buy a new dress, because sometimes as soon as the sun hit Taurus, I wanted to start shopping. Sorry, you guys get to be in this lesson with me too. At school. Oh, that makes me so happy, listening to my son read. Good day. Yes. So, if you can look at the story from a different perspective, like I was saying, I'm starting to experience, like I was shopping online the other day, or wanting to, and Spirit said, don't buy a thing. And I was like, okay. And then this morning, my son's father comes in with a huge bag of clothes from a mutual friend of ours. And I love all of her clothing, and I love her style. A huge bag of clothes. And so now I literally have a whole new wardrobe laying on my floor, because I'm tapped in and I'm listening, and I'm not running away from anything. And so if you give yourself the opportunity to see yourself from your inner world, and then do the work to excavate it, do the work to take responsibility for it, do the work to challenge those stories, those messages that you give yourself that are connected to maybe your ancestors. Like the story I tell myself about being a black woman is the story that my father told himself about being a black man. So a lot of the things, patterns and thought process, we have inherited them from our family. And now, because the whole world is changing, we get to tell a new story. So look at your energetic imprint today, how you're feeling, how you've been feeling about yourself since you were a child, because it's Cancer energy. Cancer is early childhood stuff. And see if some of those old feelings are not serving you and can be released and opened up into a new possibility. For those of you who have already registered for the Venus in retrograde, so thank you for that. But for those of you who are already registered for the Venus in retrograde course, thank you. I'm so excited. And I posted something here, and you can register in my link tree. If you look at my link tree, you can see the readings that I'm doing. You can also register for courses and things like that here in my link tree profile. And the Venus retrograde course, I'm going to do a live course on Friday. It'll be recorded. I'm doing love rituals, teaching about the Venus archetype, doing Venus in your natal chart, and then Venus transit right now, so that you can understand how to use this energy and how to transform old patterns, old love patterns, old relating patterns, and have an understanding of how it really can work and function well, and how you can transform it. And I'll offer you tools to transform it. The class is $21, which I feel is really affordable and fun. Like, I love that. So I encourage you to join, and I'm going to do 3 series. I'm going to do one on love and relationship, Venus, you and your money, because Venus governs money, and then Venus and how you love and feel about yourself. So 3 different courses, but this is the first one. Venus retrograde goes from May 19th to June 25th. The shadow began on April 9th, and we're in the shadow now. And it will end on like June 28th or something like that. So we're in for the long haul, and this is a great time to change and shift our relationship patterns. Okay, everyone, peace and blessings. I love you all. Bye-bye.